So the quiz was y equals 3. You're supposed to graph y equals 3 sine of 2x plus pi halves, right? I ask you to find amplitude. Will, what's the amplitude here? Amplitude is 3, so hopefully you put amplitude 3. I ask you to find the period. The period was what? Period is equal to 2 pi over 2, isn't it? So isn't the period pi? Is that good? Then I ask you to find the phase shift, and what I hope that you had done was this, that you had taken this like this, Will, and solved this, right? And negative pi halves is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to 3 pi halves, isn't that right? Because 2 pi is 4 pi halves. Everybody okay with that? Divided both sides by everything, divided everything by 2, and got negative pi fourths is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 3 pi fourths. So far, so good? So hopefully you put that the phase shift was equal to what? Negative pi fourths. I'm hoping that's where I'm hoping you use this for your interval, because I noticed in the other class some people actually didn't use this as their interval, so it made me do extra math, which is okay, but I'm old and tired, and right, it gets sad for me sometimes. So next thing I did was this. Lindsay, I graphed this. This is the sine curve we're talking about, isn't it? Right? Because it's not reflected, is it? I am aware that all this stuff is true, but I was just looking at it on this piece right here, Will. Cross like this. This should have been pretty simple. I noticed in the other class some people only use 3 benchmarks, 3 landmarks, so that's okay with me, I guess. This is the point. Negative, right? It's the left-hand landmark, isn't it? It's this landmark right here, right? And what's this one right here? 3 pi fourths, comma, 0. So there's that one and that one, right? And this is comma 0. And what is this? This is where people screwed up. What'd you get here? You got what here? It's pi fourths, isn't it? How do I know that? Because I have 3 pi fourths plus negative pi fourths all over 2, which is negative 2 pi, sorry, negative 2 pi fourths over 2, right? So this is, oh, I'm sorry, it's positive. So this should just be pi 4, shouldn't it? Yes or no? This is pi fourths 0, right? What's this? Anybody get this point? This is the easiest point ever. What is this point? Yeah, 0, 3. This point right here, anybody get it? Pi halves, negative 3. If you only use 3 landmarks, it's okay with me. I'm not going to freak out about it. But this is what this should have looked like, approximately. Yes? The next one should have looked like this, I hope. The next one was y is equal to opposite cosine 3 pi x plus pi, whole thing minus 2. Right? So there's some stuff going on here, I think. Amplitude. Anybody put negative 1 for amplitude? Can't be true, right? Amplitude is the absolute value of that A thing out in front. Good. Period. It had to be 2 pi thirds, right? Because amplitude we know is 2 pi over absolute omega. And omega is right here. It's 3, isn't it? We good? Allie, all good? Now phase shift, and I hope again that you use this. You use 3x plus pi is less than or equal to pi, 2 pi, greater than or equal to 0. Get negative pi here, don't we? Here we get pi, isn't that right? Yes or no? So we should have pi, negative pi thirds is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to pi thirds. What's the distance between negative pi thirds and positive pi thirds? Say that again. Right? This is good, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to start drawing the curve a little bit if you don't mind. Tell me something about this curve I should be thoughtful about. It's reflected, isn't it? So it's going to have this approximate shape, isn't it? Mr. Murray, I am aware that this, sorry about that. I am aware that this is happening, that it's continuing. Yeah, I really am. But I'm only looking at this part. You didn't. I just want to make sure you know that I'm aware of it, that I know that this is a periodic curve. So tell me something about these points. What's this point right here? Negative pi thirds. What? -1, right? Because the horizontal line of symmetry is -2. So we go down, it's actually not. It's -3. Good job. That's a good looking face there, Brandon. You're like, sorry. No, I'm sorry. Good call. And this is pi thirds what? This is pi thirds -3. Lastly, this one is not hard to get. This is the point. Well, what's in between negative pi thirds and pi thirds? 0. And what's the height? -1, right? Because we were at -2 and we went up 1, so -1. So that's at minimum what your curve should look like. How'd you do? Good.